All right. That's how you do it, Ravens. That's how you start the season. The Ravens get the 24-9 victory against the New York Jets. They advance to 1-0 on the season and start the season off on the winning column. That's exactly what you want to see. I'm a little peeved, though. I'm mad that the Jets missed the extra point because I was here in my prediction video saying that the Ravens are going to win this game 24-10. I said that in my preview video, so I'm watching this and thinking I'm about to get it perfectly right. And then they missed the extra point, and I was disappointed. But it is what it is. Anyway, we get the victory. That's all that matters. Man, before we get started, we do have to say this. We got some injury news. Offensive tackle Ja'Wuan James did tear his ACL. He is officially out for the season. So right off the bat, a guy that's been fighting, that's been dealing with injuries, season-ending injuries, missing so much time, fighting to get back. He gets back on the field, and unfortunately, he suffers another season-ending injury. Our prayers go out to him. He's in for a long journey once again. Best of luck to Ja'Wuan James. It's unfortunate. Another injury we had was Kyle Fuller, one of our recent free agency pickups. Kyle Fuller suffered a knee injury in the game. We haven't had any specific injury update regarding that. I believe they're going to get an MRI on his knee and check it out tomorrow, so we'll be looking into some updates regarding that. But Kyle Fuller did get injured. It was some sort of knee injury. We'll see how that progresses. If it's nothing serious, then that's great. We'll give him time to recover. If it is serious, then that means his season is most likely to be over, which is going to suck right off the bat. Baltimore gets the win, but you lose out on two players right off the bat, and it's going to suck. But those are our two injury updates that we need to talk about. Now, let's get into the game. All right, let's start with the defense because the defense honestly made this game. The defense came out here and played a really great game of football. In terms of getting to the quarterback, in terms of making tackles, in terms of making stops and coverage, in terms of forcing turnovers, the Ravens defense hit on all those cylinders, all those aspects. They hit on all of them. All of them. First, getting to the quarterback. They got to Flacco on multiple occasions. I believe they had 4 sacks in this game. They got to Flacco on several occasions and sacked him. You had Justin Houston leading the way with 2 sacks on the game. Justin Houston was getting after Flacco. He almost had another sack, so he was really active. Pressure was constantly on Flacco, which is what you want to see. I love the fact that we were getting to the quarterback and getting him down on the ground and getting sacks. That's what you want to see. So that was the first thing we checked off. Number 2, the tackles. We were making our tackles. We weren't allowing these guys to get out and extend the play and go on these huge runs. For the most part, we were making our tackles. Patrick Queen was definitely showcasing this ability. He was making some great tackles out there. Patrick Queen was doing that last year. This year, he's brought that here. He's been making some great tackles in the run, great tackle with some of these pass catchers. When on the quarterback's checking the ball down, Patrick Queen's right there to make the stop, and I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. We are making tackles, and that's what you want to see. Defense did that all day today. Number 3, making stops and coverages. That's what we were doing. Baltimore didn't really give up a lot of huge passes down the field. They weren't giving up these mega plays. There were a couple passes that, traveled for 10, 15 yards. A couple plays they gave up here and there. But overall, the coverage was well. They didn't give up any big plays, and they did a great job in making stops and forcing the ball out of these receivers' hands and causing the Jets to have to consistently punt the football. So I loved what I saw from the defense there in coverage. They did their job. And last but not least, forcing turnovers. I said it in my preview. Baltimore was going to get 2 turnovers. One would be a pick, another would be a fumble recovery. We had that happen in this game. The interception happened in the first half, and it went to Marcus Williams. Welcome to Baltimore, my friend. You get your first pick as a Raven. That's what we want to see. So we got that interception from Marcus Williams. He nearly ran that back. It was about to be a pick 6. So great on him. Later on in the second half, Chuck Clark causes a strip fumble that was recovered by Marlon Humphrey. So that's 2 turnovers on the day, 2 forced turnovers. We had a 3rd turnover that was forced, but we didn't get the ball. So, the Jets were able to recover that one. But 2 turnovers that were forced by our defense. I love what I saw. In terms of rookie Kyle Hamilton, I think, he had some plays. He had a couple tackles here and there. I think he made some nice plays when he was out there, but obviously there's room for improvement, room for growth. He's going to continue to grow and develop as the season goes on. That's just how it is. He had some nice plays there, so I like what I saw from him. I like what I saw overall from the Ravens defense. I like what I saw from the secondary. I like what I saw from the pass rush. Defense was just on it. They were on it from the get-go. Played a great game. Loved what I saw from the Ravens defense. Now, switching over to the Ravens offense, this is where things get interesting. The Ravens offense today, they executed at times, especially in the second half. They made plays and executed. But overall, the Ravens offense, in some cases, was sloppy, and there was some plays left on the table. Now, for me, this is fine. I knew this was going to happen. Why? Well, because this is really the first time all these guys are really out here together. We got to understand the Ravens offense didn't have a lot of time to practice together during training camp in the preseason. Not to mention, a lot of these guys that were playing in week 1 did not touch the field in preseason, including Lamar Jackson, who himself said in his press conference that he kind of had to get himself going. You know, he didn't get to really play. He didn't play in the preseason, not to mention he missed 6 games already. So he had to get himself going, get a feel of the game again, get used to getting tackled, get himself back into the game, which you can clearly see that was the case. First half, he was getting himself back into it. There were some missed opportunities there. But once we got to the second half, Lamar started making some plays, and that's what you want to see. So it was definitely one of those situations where the offense kind of needs to feel out what they wanted to do, get themselves into some sort of rhythm, feel out the game, get used to being able to play, meaningful football, at least going up against a different opponent that's not your defense. They had to get used to that. And you saw in the first half, there wasn't moments like that. In the second half, it started to get it going. Now, for Lamar Jackson himself, Lamar Jackson had a really good day throwing the football. I believe it was 17 to 30 for 213 passing yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Now, that pick was a dumb pick by Lamar, but I believe on that case, Lamar was just looking to try something because in this game, Lamar, especially in the second half, Lamar started to air it out. And I think Lamar's trying to see what he has with his targets, especially since with this pass, he was going to Demarcus Robinson. That's somebody that he's got to gain chemistry with. They haven't had a lot of practice time together because Demarcus Robinson just recently came. So Lamar's probably looking to try and get that connection going early on, seeing what he can do with that. Now, that one probably should have added out a little bit more. He underthrew that, which caused the pick, but I think he's trying to gauge what he and Demarcus Robinson can do. I really wish he didn't throw that pick. He didn't throw that pass because, there was no reason to throw that pass at that point. The game was basically over. But I'm not against Lamar trying things because these are his receivers that he's going to have to work with throughout the season. And since Demarcus Robinson is a new addition, you got to build that sort of chemistry. And you could tell early on he was trying to get Demarcus Robinson involved, but that chemistry is still a work in progress. Here's who he did have chemistry with: Devin Duvernay and Rashad Bateman. Devin Duvernay came out here and made a statement for himself. He's coming out here to prove himself. He wants to prove himself right by the Ravens because he doesn't care about what the Dallas say. He wants to prove the Ravens right in giving him this opportunity to shine as a receiver. And boy, did he come out here and do so. The man had 2 touchdown catches today. The first touchdown was beautiful. Lamar put it right where it needed to be. That was a tight throw in a tight window, and Devin Duvernay was able to go up and make the play. We haven't seen a lot of throws like that by Lamar, or better yet, we haven't seen a lot of plays like that. Because we've seen Lamar make those type of throws, but we haven't seen a lot of plays like that where Lamar just has his receiver going one-on-one, and he's taking a shot to the back of the end zone damn near. That was a hell of a throw. There was little to no separation on that pass, on that play, so I don't even know how Lamar was able to get that pass into Devin Duvernay, and I don't know how Duvernay was able to get that ball. That was a perfect throw by Lamar and a beautiful catch by Devin Duvernay for that first touchdown. Fantastic. That might have been the best throw we've seen all day until the huge touchdown bomb to Rashad Bateman. But we'll get to that. Second touchdown pass to Devin Duvernay. It kind of looked like a no-look pass, but Lamar did, confirm. He at least did correct that in his press conference when they asked him, was that a no-look pass? He was like, nah, I looked. I clearly looked on that one. So that was not a no-look pass. He did look. The play, he was going to Andrews for that one to try and pick up the first down, but the defender definitely did drop down to cover Andrews. And when he did that, all of a sudden you see at the back of the end zone, Devin Duvernay starting to open up. So Lamar saw that, was originally going for Andrews, saw Duvernay get open at the back of the end zone, made that adjustment and threw it to the back of the end zone. Perfect throw to Duvernay for his second touchdown of the game. So Lamar, once he started to get comfortable, he started to hit his guys. He started to get the ball more to Mark Andrews because earlier on he wasn't getting it to him, or some of those were kind of low throws that Andrews had to adjust to. But in the second half, he started really getting into Mark Andrews and putting it out there. Mark Andrews didn't have a touchdown, but he had a couple great catches. And Mark Andrews is Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the game. You got to love what you see from him. Obviously, we're going to get him more involved in the coming weeks, so there's no reason to really worry about him. This was the game to get some of these receivers involved. And Lamar definitely did air it out, especially with his third touchdown pass, the 55-yard touchdown bomb. It was 55 or 57-yard touchdown bomb to Rashad Bateman. And that is the play I wanted to see, and that is the play Ravens fans have been waiting to see and have been waiting for. That was a beautiful bomb by Lamar Jackson. Gets himself some space, launches it. Rashad Bateman ran a very beautiful route, crisp route, got himself open behind the defense. Lamar hit him perfectly in stride. Bateman runs straight into the end zone. 55-yard touchdown bomb. That's what we wanted to see. 8 to 7 for 6. We know that has to be the connection. His number one receiver is going to be Rashad Bateman. And Bateman needed that because earlier on, he had some opportunities, but he dropped like a couple passes. And one of the passes he dropped would have been a first down. So Bateman was having a rough start in the first half, but he got himself comfortable. Once he got comfortable, Lamar was able to throw that bomb to him, and Bateman got the touchdown. That was the best throw Lamar made of the day. Second best throw was a first touchdown pass, but Lamar made some great throws in this game. You know, he had a lot of incompletions, and that was because receivers were dropping passes. One specifically was our rookie, Isaiah Likely. He dropped all 4 of his passes. All 4 of the passes Lamar threw at him, he dropped them. Now, he's a rookie. He'll have time. He had his rookie moment in his first game. Give Isaiah some time. He's going to get adjusted. He's going to get used to it. First NFL game of his career, he's getting used to it. He's a rookie. He had a rookie moment. But yeah, there was a lot of drops by these receivers. So obviously that's going to affect Lamar's stats. That's why he was 17 to 30. There was like 5 or 6 drops in this game. You know, all 4 for Isaiah Likely, 2 for Rashad Bateman, and then there's another one that I don't remember. I believe 1 to Mark Andrews or something. Either way, it was a lot of drops in this game. It is what it is. At the end of the day, the Ravens offense was sloppy, but the passing game got it going in the second half. Lamar started to air it out, and his receivers were getting open. They made plays. So you got to love what you saw in the passing game, especially because the running game today was poor and lackluster. 11 yards rushing in the first half. That is the lowest amount of rushing yards we've had in a football game in a half since 2016. The running game somehow looked worse than it did last year. Now, we all understand these are not our starters. Kenyon Drake's not our starter. Davis is not our starter. Justice Hill's not our starter. We all understand that. We're waiting for J.K. Dobbins. We're waiting for Gus Edwards. J.K. Dobbins did not play. Neither did Marcus Peters. Neither did Ronnie Stanley. So we've got a couple of guys that we're waiting for. Obviously, Mike Jones. We're waiting for guys. Not Mike Jones. Travis Jones. We're waiting for a couple guys. We know we're waiting for a couple guys that were injured to return and be ready. So that's cool, especially on the offense. You're missing 3 offensive pieces. You're 2 starting backs and you're all-pro left tackle. We know you're missing it. So obviously, as the season goes on, hopefully we'll get them back. I do not know when Stanley's going to get back. I predicted week 3 or 4, so we'll see. Same thing for J.K. Dobbins. Week 3 or 4 may be my prediction. And the same could be for Marcus Peters, week 3 or 4. But I have no clue when they're going to come back. So yeah, I understand the offense isn't fully together. But man, that running game was lackluster. Kenyon Drake started to get something open a little bit in the second half, but other than that, you didn't see much from Justice Hill, you didn't see much from Davis, and Kenyon Drake didn't really provide you a lot. So that running game was somehow less impactful than it was last year to open up the season. Hopefully, we'll get our starting back eventually, and we'll see what we do with that. But yeah, offensively, we executed more in the second half than we did in the first half. It was a slow start, but once Lamar got comfortable, he started airing it out to these receivers. The passing game started to showcase itself. Running game wasn't doing much, so the passing game really had to do everything today. And Lamar was airing it out and making some great throws and some great plays. And the receivers were getting open down the field and making some plays, and that's what you want to see. One thing that was unfortunate, where I have to look at Tyler Wallace because he's getting opportunities. That play, that pass that Lamar gave to you, you got to go out there and make that play. Lamar put in the position where the receiver can make that catch. You got to go out there and do it. And that ball went right through your hands. Even though you're like this, it went right through your hands. You got to make that catch. If you're getting targets and opportunities, you have to make that catch. Another thing I got to talk about, James Prochet got no targets. I have no clue how the Ravens feel about James Prochet. I have no clue how the Ravens look towards utilizing Prochet. But you would think they would try to get the ball in his hands. But it's week 1. We'll see how it goes. They clearly got the ball in Duvernay's hands. They clearly got the ball in Bateman's hands. Hell, they got the ball in Demarcus Robinson's hands. And they tried to get the ball in Tyler Wallace's hands. But your receiver here, your 5th receiver, well, not your 5th receiver, he's not ranked 5th in the, but your other receiver you didn't get involved, James Prochet, was kind of just there. And he was on the field, so it is what it is. Anyway, passing game overall was really solid, really good. A lot of great throws from Lamar, a lot of great plays made from the receivers. Liked what I saw from the passing game, but there is some improvement that needs to be made in the passing game, particularly with catching the football. Because Lamar, for the most part, second half, he was sharp. Other than the dumb pick, he was sharp in the second half. First half, he had some good throws that were wasted because we're dropping passes. So in the first half, receivers were dropping passes. Even though Lamar wasn't airing it out, he was making smart throws, quick throws here and here to pick up the first down. Guys were just dropping it. There was 2 passes that would drop that would have been first downs. The pass that went to Bateman got knocked out of his hands, takes away the first down. Another one that was to Isaiah Likely, couldn't make the catch, no first down. Both those were on third down. So we need to see an improvement with the receivers catching the football, but it's week 1. I expect that to improve. And in the second half, honestly, they were catching the football. So I hope that's a positive sign for things to go forward. So overall, the passing game was really good in this game. You just got to clean up a couple things in terms of guys catching the ball, especially downfield, and we'll be good. And other than that, the running game wasn't really showcasing anything, so it is what it is. But yeah, offense executed, made a lot of great plays, especially in the second half. But they got a lot of things to fix, a lot of things to clean up, a lot of things to improve on. It's only week 1. They barely had time to really be on the field together and practice much. So I knew they were going to come out here and not be nearly as explosive as we wanted them to. However, they were able to find their stride in the second half, and they got some explosive plays off. So hopefully that's a sign for things to come for the Ravens. Defensively, they were on it. From the first snap, they were on it. From the first drive, they were on it. Defense did their job. I love what I've seen for the defense. Hopefully, Kyle Fuller's okay, but we'll have to see what happens. Anyway, that's all I got to say about this week 1 matchup. We're heading into week 2 to take on the Miami Dolphins. This time we'll be at home in Baltimore to take on the Dolphins. And then after that, we'll move forward and see what happens there. Can't wait to talk about that game because the Dolphins beat the Patriots today. They got a huge win against a divisional rival. And there were some good things that I saw there from the Dolphins offense that we're going to have to discuss. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, that is all I've got for this video, and I'm out of here, man. Peace!